We kick off tonight in the ancient city of Kano, where some historic events unfolded today, with Governor Abba Yusuf reinstating Muhammadu Sanusi as the Emir of Kano. The governor made the announcement after signing into law the bill dissolving the 4 new emirate councils in the state created by former Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, and giving the 4 emirates or the 4 emirs 48 hours to vacate their palaces. The affected emirates are Karaye, Bichi, Rano and Gaya, all of whom now come under the Kano Emirate. Governor Yusuf said the decision was based on the law of appointment and deposition of the emir. Our correspondent Sadiq Ilyasu reports.
Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano State is taking a significant step in the Kano State traditional landscape. The governor, in the company of his deputy, the Speaker of the State Assembly and other principal officers in the government, signed into law the Kano State Emirates Council Amendment Bill. He subsequently announced the 14th Emir of Kano, His Royal Highness Alhaji Sanusi Lamido II, as the Emir of Kano.
By the provisions of the Kano State Chiefs and Emirs Appointment and Deposition Law 1984 and the Kano State Emirate Council Referral Law 2024, with full support of the kingmakers, I have approved the reappointment of Malam Sanusi Lamido popularly known as Muhammadu Sanusi II, as the new Emir of Kano.
Earlier, the State House of Assembly dissolved all 4 newly created emirate councils. The dissolution of the affected emirates is sequel to deliberations on the floor of the House during plenary.
The decision of the governor is a bill has empowered the governor to invite the kingmakers, all he can to give nominally a new king for him. So we are now waiting for the governor to assemble the bill in his wish, and then invite the kingmakers to give him the king.
The bill receives accelerated passage from the lawmakers. This decision marks a significant shift in Kano State's traditional leadership structure, reinstating the historical prominence of the Kano Emirate under the leadership of Emir Sanusi II. Sadiq Ilyasu, Channels Television News.
Now, the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, is vociferous and never shy of making his stance very clear on national issues. As governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, he made his mark in the banking sector and was the mastermind of the bank recapitalization of 2009. In our next report, we bring you the story of his emergence as Emir, then dethronement, and now his return to the throne.
Malam Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, born in July 1961, was nominated to be the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria by President Umaru Yar'Adua on June 1, 2009. His appointment was confirmed by the Senate on the 3rd of June 2009, at a time the world was facing a global financial crisis. As the CBN governor, Malam Sanusi brought about several reforms aimed at 4 different pillars, including quality of bank, financial stability, healthy evolution, and contribution to real economy. In 2014, he was suspended by the President Goodluck Jonathan administration after raising an alarm over a $20 billion NNPC scandal.
Exported by NPDC, by NNPC. So as far as the central bank is concerned, the most important point to establish is that there's a difference of $20 billion between what NNPC shipped and what it repatriated. Last week we did raise, obviously based on, we haven't seen NNPC's written submission, but based on the public comments they've made, reservations about some of the explanations they've given. We did present documents from PPRA and from the presidency to indicate that, in our view, there is no subsidy on kerosene, first of all, and that the payment of kerosene subsidy is in violation of a written presidential directive.
He was crowned Emir Mohammed Sanusi II on the 9th of June 2014, the 14th Emir of Kano. As Emir, he was very outspoken and was a strong advocate of girl-child education.
Imagine if you set up an SPV that would raise finance internationally and use that finance to just build girls' secondary schools across the north. We have to think out of the box.
In 2019, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje of Kano State signed into law the creation of 4 new emirates, greatly challenging Emir Sanusi's influence. Based on the recommendation of the Kano State Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission as well as reports on the Kano State Committee on Emirates, he was deposed and banished into Awe in Nasarawa State.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Greetings, my people. We are always thankful to God for all the things we experience that never end. I was dethroned as the Emir of Kano on the 9th of March 2020. God has kept me in good health for about 6 years on the throne. The one who gives has taken. Leadership is given to one to keep, and when it is time, the person has to give it back.
With the signing of the bill ending the 4 Emirates Council and the reinstatement of the Emir, a new chapter now beckons for His Royal Majesty, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. And the challenge in the coming days is how he's able to bring all indigents together and offer leadership that will unite all the people of Kano State.
Before the announcement reinstating him as the Emir of Kano, His Royal Majesty Mohammed Sanusi II was in Port Harcourt, where he was the keynote speaker on the second day of the Rivers State Economic and Investment Summit. He emphasized the need for responsible taxation, strategic infrastructure development, and quality education as some of the key government responsibilities as pathway to development beyond oil. The summit ended with other industry leaders and experts sharing best practices and strategies to boost productivity and competitiveness in the non-oil sectors.
It's day 2 of the 2024 Rivers State Economic and Investment Summit, and it focuses on developing the blue economy, renewable energy, and rural agricultural development, among others. Among the attendees are government officials led by Governor Siminalayi Fubara, the just reinstated Emir of Kano, Mohammed Sanusi, former Governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke, and industry leaders. Experienced in governance and economic management, the keynote speaker, His Royal Majesty Mohammed Sanusi, highlights River State's potential as a prime investment choice in West Africa due to its abundant rivers and vast arable land.
River State has a unique opportunity to emerge as a beacon of progress in the face of hopelessness. It has the opportunity to operationalize the ideals of the concept of subnationalism in a federal context by building a resilient, dynamic, modern, and effective system that fosters economic development and prosperity. With rich arable land, abundant oil and water resources, as well as strategic location of the state.
He recommends quality education, institutional reforms, efficient judicial system, and strategic infrastructure, including investments in renewable energy, as key factors for consideration. He also calls for collaboration with other South-South states for greater achievement.
The state education system should create a skilled population that is fit for the labor requirements of any investor to safeguard the employment of your citizens. The standard of the public service means that it has to be able to implement investor-friendly policies that would attract and regulate these investments. The judiciary must be independent, and judges must be seen to rise above any suspicion of corruption.
The panel discussions center on rural and agricultural development, the blue economy, and innovation, and experts here share strategies to enhance productivity and competitiveness in non-oil sectors.
I'd like to say that global attention today is shifting from land-based resources to the resources of the oceans. and Rivers State is located as the second southernmost state in Nigeria. Rivers State is the only state that has 8 swift-flowing rivers into the Atlantic.
Who says that Rivers State indigenes, encouraged by Rivers State government, cannot establish a global trading shipping line to participate in the carriage of those cargo?
It is expected that the recommendations from the summit with the theme Rivers Emerge, Advancing Pathways to Economic Growth and Sustainability will be adopted to move the state's economy beyond oil.
Let's appreciate them with another warm round of applause. In politics, the 2023 presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has vowed to keep contesting for the nation's highest office as long as he's healthy. Speaking in an interview on the Hausa service of the Voice of America in Abuja, Mr. Abubakar maintained that he is consoled by the fact that former United States President Abraham Lincoln did not win the presidential vote on the first time of asking. Mr. Abubakar has contested for the presidency 6 times. In part 2 after the break, we have more on the reinstatement of Muhammadu Sanusi as Emir of Kano, plus National Assembly moves to revert to Nigeria's old national anthem, bill passes 3rd reading in the House and 2nd reading in the Senate. Please stay with us.
Where's Glory?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Glow! Where Glow now?
I dare hear.
Glow, don't go village. Tell all our customer Abi.
Everybody pay attention. See, now Glow berekete 10x. Now he might take tension my customers. Now they dash me 10 times the credits when I load. Or even summer me double data join.
Yeah. Wait, so with 1.5 when they give all of us, so you they enjoy up to
15,000 naira credit and data. And I say I never finish you. See, when I say if we enjoy, if we not join Glow berekete 10x, when I go get 1,000 naira welcome credits. Finish.
Glow, you don't win.
Una see they here. Hello, please, I'm looking for Glow. Be safe now, Glow be dey fine. Now Glow be dey go. Okay, so
enjoy 10 times the value of your recharge on Glow berekete 10x. You also get 1,000 naira for calls and data and double data bonus on your subscription.
There's a lot of fear in the journey towards building wealth, especially in an ever-changing economy like ours. And you know why that is? It's because navigating the world of investments without facts and insights is like walking in the dark. But that fear stops now. Opportunities open up to you when you have a trusted guide. Someone with over 28 years of experience advising individuals, corporates, and governments to achieve their dreams through strategic and well-timed investments. That someone is AfriInvest. The journey of 1,000 miles is easier when you have a trusted guide and partner who knows the way. So, take the first step. AfriInvest, simplifying investments, creating wealth.
Drink down, don't go for it. Hey, life my highway, be I just stay for my lane. Full speed ahead, oh, no limit in my way. God don't make them my back, nourishment to give me spark. So I go shine my shine and I will go for it. No limits, go for it. Drink down, don't go for it.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow, enriched with 95% pure vitamin C and pulp extract. For visibly radiant and even-toned skin in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow, for your shade of beautiful.
Let's now get more perspective on the reinstatement of Muhammadu Sanusi II as Emir of Kano, and we're being joined live by a political commentator and analyst on Kano politics, Dr. Ibrahim Kurawa. Dr. Kurawa joins us from our Kano studios. Great to have you on the News at 10.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Now, let me start by asking your reaction to the news concerning the reinstatement of Muhammadu Sanusi II as the Emir of Kano by Governor Abba Yusuf today.
I think it is the right thing to do because this is what people have been expecting since the governor was sworn in last year. But it took time. I think the governor had enough time to be prepared for this important activity that has just happened today.
Now, some have said the whole thing is all about politics. Dr. Kurawa, how do you see the situation in which such revered traditional institution is used for such?
Well, it's not only politics. It's all about democracy and good governance and doing what the people want. Governor Abba Yusuf has decided to restore the lost glory of Kano. Most of it was destroyed by his predecessor, Dr. Abdullah Umar Ganduje, who decided to politicize the emirate, which is not a political institution. It is a traditional institution.
All right, some have said that perhaps this is history repeating itself. For you, do you think this is really a good sign, considering the fact that the Kano Emirate is one of the most revered, of course, in the country?
Well, what Governor Abba Yusuf did is to restore the glory of Kano and the reverence of the traditional institution in Nigeria, because the traditional institution owes its legitimacy to history and heritage. And the only way you can do this is to maintain that system. It's not for continuous bastardization, as some of the politicians have attempted to do in many parts of Nigeria. So this is something that is good for Kano and good for Nigeria. It shows that if politicians do the wrong things, some other people will come and correct it. And this is exactly what Governor Abba Yusuf did.
Now, no, of course, there will be other reactions concerning this development. Some perhaps might say, why is this happening now? Judging from what happened during the time of Abdullah Ganduje as the governor of Kano. What consequences do you think will play out with this development now that Governor Abba Yusuf has reinstated Muhammadu Sanusi II?
I think the traditional institution is going to welcome this because Kano is now united. We have the same identity. We don't have different tribes or like many other parts of the country. Most of the people of Kano are Hausa Muslims. So there is no need for you to be creating small chiefdoms as you have in many other states. So this is a welcome thing for the people of Kano, at least, that who care about their heritage. It is not about Dr. Abdullah Umar Ganduje or Abba Yusuf. It is about tradition and the legacy of Sheikh Usman Danfodio.
Indeed, give us a feel of how you expect the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi, can indeed play a crucial role in Kano state politics now that he's been reinstated. What do you see happening in the immediate future?
Well, Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, is an experienced public servant. He has excelled in the central bank and is an economist. He's a respected international statesman who has been very effective in public diplomacy in Nigeria. And when he was the Emir of Kano previously, he tried to reform the Muslim family law, which attracted even the Republic of Niger. And they accepted it, and he went there and spoke to their stakeholders. So this is one area which is going to be very useful to the people of Kano. And secondly, he has been SDG advocate of the United Nations, and he has been one of the few from Africa. And while doing this activity, or serving the international community, Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi, established the 1 Million Teachers Initiative for Africa. So he is contributing to the African continent, talk less of Nigeria. Therefore, that 1 Million Teachers Initiative is one of his legacies, and he's going to continue to pursue it. He was able to generate, to mobilize over $5 million for the project, which very few traditional rulers will have done in Nigeria. And you can see, even today, he was in River State, as a keynote speaker because they know he's somebody who can deliver. He has the capacity, he has the network, so he's going to be a very effective leader in Kano as the traditional leader, not just a politician. He's not a politician, he's the leader of everyone, and most of the people of the state accept him as their leader.
Dr. Ibrahim Kurawa, political commentator and analyst on Kano politics, we thank you so much for your thoughts on the news today.
Thank you very much.
So let's head to the nation's capital now, where Victoria Longjohn is standing by to give us the very latest from our Abuja studios. Hello, Victoria. Great to see you again.
Indeed, great to see you. Hello, Ayo. In another development also signaling to the past, the House of Representatives has passed a bill to revert to the old national anthem titled Nigeria We Hail Thee. The bill was quickly passed through the first, second, and third reading within minutes. Meanwhile, the Senate has referred the bill to its relevant committees after passing it through second reading. Our National Assembly correspondent Terry Ikumi reports.
46 years after adopting the new national anthem tagged Arise, O Compatriots, the National Assembly appears to be in a hurry to revert to the old anthem, Nigeria We Hail Thee. During Thursday's plenary sessions in both chambers, a bill to effect the change was considered. In the Senate, lawmakers, after a closed-door session to debate on the bill, assert that the current national anthem is a product of the military junta.
This bill is going to be subjected to public hearing, which is in tandem with our democratic norms and values, and Nigerians have the right to say whether we should retain the present national anthem as it is or go back to the national anthem with amendment.
There is nothing in the current national anthem that mobilizes our people to action. So I support that this bill should be read for a second time because it arouses patriotism and a call to defend the nation.
Leader of the Senate, I want to thank you for bringing this bill. And maybe because I was born in that era and not in the Gen Z era.
The bill then scales second reading and is referred to the Committees on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Services. In the lower chamber, the majority and minority leaders shared different opinions about the bill.
As people, as Nigerians, confronting a new, renewed hope moving forward, tackling the rot, decay, dislocation, and distortions of the past, we should go back to our old national anthem, which gives us that energy, that sense of commitment, sense of dedication, and a desire to move Nigeria forward.
The old national anthem was authored by Lillian Jane Williams and composed by Francis Bender, both of them breathe on. And after independence, we tried as much as possible to Nigerianize our actions. So, sir, today we are taking ourselves back to that old national anthem. Is this very important at this particular juncture in our national life?
A brief debate for and against the bill ensues.
I don't know how this national anthem even affect the well-being of the common man in Nigeria.
The labor of our heroes past should not be in vain. Are they not in vain? My father is a retired Nigerian army. His own pension has not been paid promptly.
The bill quickly scales second reading and is quickly considered by the Committee of the Whole, then passed eventually.
The ayes have it.
In the meantime, the House considers a matter of urgent public importance on the living wage bill and the takeover of Banex Plaza in Abuja by the military.
This House adopted a resolution of a motion on the need to provide living wage for workers in Nigeria. The report was supposed to have been presented to the House prior to this time, Mr. Speaker. I'm worried that, as all of us here, we're also worried that LSC and TUC have issued a notice of national strike from 31st May, which is next week Friday, Mr. Speaker.
The House is still concerned about the inappropriate use of military personnel in civil matters. The House is hereby resolved to 1. urged the federal government and the Nigerian army to reopen Banex Plaza immediately.
The matter is referred to relevant health committees for an investigation and recommendation to forestall future occurrence. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
And to legal matters now, a former Minister of Aviation, Mr. Hadi Sirika, and his brother Ahmad Sirika were today arraigned before an Abuja High Court over corruption charges. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have filed a 10-count charge against the Sirikas for an alleged contract fraud valued at 5.4 billion naira, to which they pleaded not guilty. The FCC alleges that the minister awarded the sums in contracts to Engineers Nigeria Limited, said to belong to his younger brother, Ahmad Sirika.
The atmosphere at the court is calm as EFCC officials await the commencement of proceedings in the trial of a former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, and his brother, Ahmed Sirika. After announcing appearances, the prosecutor informs the court of an amended 10-count charge against the defendants. The charge is immediately read to the defendants. With a plea of not guilty, lawyers to the defendants applied for their clients to be granted bail. The presiding judge, Justice Suleiman Belgore, granted them bail in the sum of 100 million naira and 2 sureties in like sum. The judge further ordered the defendants to provide sureties with landed property and certificate of occupancy signed by the FCT minister. The defendants are also prevented from traveling out of the country without the express permission of the court. The prosecutor clarifies the charge against the former minister, just as the defense team reaffirms their readiness to prove the innocence of their clients.
It was a matter of arraignment. This is the second case filed by EFCC. And we're able to file application. As you can see, Mr. Numan SN appeared for the first defendant, appeared for the second defendant, and my colleague Sanusi SN appeared for third and fourth defendant to proceed with their case. We're equally very ready to put our defense before the courts.
Well, as I informed the court, the charge before this court is totally different from that other court. The one before the other court relates to some different defendants. The only common defendant is the first defendant, Hadi Abubakar Sirika.
In a sister case, Mr. Sirika was arraigned alongside his daughter, Fatima Hadi Sirika, his son-in-law, Jalal Suleyhama, and Al Burak Global Investment Limited.
And still ahead on the...
Just like to chop better food. Food where they make body tranga and vegetables were fresh like see tomorrow not day. We want make the chocolate sweet the way we go like them. No cubes. Now be the secret. They make them with correct ingredients like chicken, parsley, garlic, plenty iron corn full and palm to make your chocolate palm bar for you. Come the sweet well. Now be the cocoa. Make we carry salute, throw away give no. Change your world by changing waiting day your plate.
Nivea Pearl and Beauty Deodorant. With natural pearl extracts and avocado oils for soft, smooth, and beautiful underarms. The perfect balance of 48-hour protection and care with delicate fragrances. Feel the power of pearls. Nivea Pearl and Beauty for soft, smooth, and beautiful underarms. Try our new Pearl and Beauty Black Pearl for smooth and perfumed underarms.
Do you know that you can now print all your essential items for events without even having to leave your home? It's the Cash Print Combo Deal for all events.
Yes!
Weddings, conferences, birthdays, burials, etc. Starting from 495,000 naira only. You get 50 invites, 50 A2 size posters, 50 16-page brochures, 1 large backdrop banner, 1 roll-up banner, 50 jotters with pens, and 50 souvenir carrier bags. Whatever event you're planning, we can adjust to your budget and quantities. Just send your pictures and other information through WhatsApp, and we shall send a design for your approval. Approve your design, and we will produce with super high-quality digital print technology. We can even arrange delivery to your location. Call us now on 0913-156-5016 or 0812-794-9323 or visit our social media pages. CAS Prints, digital printing at super speed.
Welcome back to the News at 10. Still with legal matters, the trial of the detained Binance executive Tingran Gambayan at the Federal High Court in Abuja took a dramatic turn today as the defendant collapsed in court. At the resumed trial, Mr. Gambayan failed to enter the dock when he was called upon by the court registrar for continuation of trial, but remained seated at the back seat, prompting the trial judge, Justice Emeka Witi, to ask for him. One of the lawyers in the defense team who sat beside Gambayan assisted him by the side while holding his hands towards the dock. But as they walked slowly to the dock, Mr. Gambayan slumped and the lawyer helped him to sit in the front row. Lawyer to the defendant, Mr. Mark Modi, however, told the court that his client has been indisposed and a written application letter had been filed to notify the court about this. At the last sitting, Justice Witi had dismissed Gambayan's bail application on the grounds that the EFCC had been able to establish that he posed a flight risk. Gambayan, Nadeem Anjawala and Binance Holdings Limited are facing money laundering and terrorism financing charges brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. And away from the court now, the publisher and editor-in-chief of Global Upfront newspaper, Mr. Madu Onora, has been arrested by men of the Nigeria police force. It was gathered that about 10 fully armed policemen stormed his residence in Lugbe, Abuja, in 2 Sienna buses and arrested him in the presence of his wife and children. In its reaction to the arrest, the management of the online newspaper demanded the immediate and unconditional release of Mr. Onora. Mr. Onora is a former Abuja bureau chief of the Guardian newspaper and a former managing director of the Authority newspaper. And that's it from the nation's capital. It's now back to you, Ayo, for the rest of the news at 10.
Thank you so much, Victoria. The federal government has launched a Nigerian national web portal to provide seamless access for Nigerians at home and abroad to access the digital services of the government. The portal will link to all websites and databases of all government ministries and agencies in Nigeria and will serve as a means of authenticating the correct websites due to issues of various online impersonators. The launch was performed by the Minister of Information and National Planning, Mr. Mohammed Malagi, at the commencement of a ministerial sectoral briefing to mark the first anniversary of the administration of President Bola Tinubu in Abuja. Our correspondent, Victoria Lonchon, reports.
The National Press Center is packed full on the first day of the ministerial sectoral briefing by members of the Federal Executive Council to mark the first year in office of President Bola Tinubu.
Idris, FNIPR, for his welcome remarks.
The Minister of Information sets the tone for the day by launching the Nigerian National Web Portal, a gateway to all information about the federal government.
The Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation has resuscitated this new portal. It is the gateway to all the information that is required to know about this government, about Nigeria, about its people, and about our culture.
The Minister of the FCT, Mr. Yeson Wike, leads the first session of the sectoral briefing. He is followed by the Minister of Youth Development, Dr. Jamila Ibrahim Bio, and the Minister of Steel Development, Mr. Shuaibu Audu. Each of the ministers highlight their achievements on the deliverables under the Renew Hope agenda in the last 1 year.
You cannot sleep with your 2 eyes closed. What used to be in Abuja before is not what is now. We cannot say that we have got it 100% right and not
We will continue the disbursement of the Youth Investment Fund to support more youth entrepreneurs, operationalize the Next Gen Bank by August 2024 to provide tailored financial services to youth-led ventures.
We have started having discussions regarding reviving the power plant. Ajaokuta has a 110 megawatt power plant that can produce power that can supply power not just to Ajaokuta Steel Complex, but also to the national grid.
The second set of ministers also presented their scorecards, emphasizing their achievements in unlocking the nation's natural resources, as well as their effort to strengthen national security.
Our targets in this 2024, having worked very hard to create an enabling environment, is to ensure that we have minimum of $20 billion in investment this year. The only way you can sustain increase in production and generate money that government needs to finance our economic problems, our economic programs, is the oil and gas sector.
We are sanitizing the operating environment of the solid mineral sector to enable it assume its pride of place in contributing significantly to the GDP of this country. So we weeded off over 1,600 licenses of operators who failed to meet their obligations to government.
Among those that we neutralize are bandits that we hear, are bandits commanders that command hundreds of foot soldiers. President signed the DICOM bill that help us to produce locally what we need in the fight of insurgency and criminality in this country.
In the coming days, more ministers are expected to present their scorecards in the last 1 year of the present administration. Victoria Longjohn for Channels Television News.
The Delta State government has launched a program to empower over 5,000 artisans through the More Grant Scheme. Launched by Governor Sheriff Oborewori, the More Grant Scheme is an initiative that is specifically designed to support petty traders, artisans and female entrepreneurs from poor and vulnerable households in the state. They are to be provided with the financial assistance necessary to improve their businesses.
Yeah.
The venue is filled with an array of guests, including beneficiaries dressed in their blue and white attire, awaiting the arrival of the governor to kickstart the event.
Indeed. Courtesy of the benevolence of His Excellency, the governor.
The event kicks off with the Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs, Community Support Services and Girl-Child Development, Orode Oduaha, highlighting the phases of the scheme and how it's structured.
This project unfolds in 3 phases, each carefully designed to empower specific segments of our vibrant state for over 5,000 beneficiaries.
Lauding the governor for providing resources to grow small and medium-scale enterprises, keynote speakers at the event affirmed that human capital development is a platform to break the jinx of poverty. They also pledged to partner the state government through their agencies to mentor young entrepreneurs for the More Grant Scheme on ways to grow their businesses to become large-scale establishments.
This grant scheme is a testament to the unwavering commitment by the Delta State government to social justice and inclusivity by targeting the most vulnerable members of the society, those living in poverty, those living with disabilities, and those at the bottom of the economic pyramid. It is sending a very powerful message that every life in Delta State matters.
The second thing about the program is that beyond the capacity build they're going to get, is that we're going to give them consultants that will help them rethink their model, rethink their market, and understand their processes better.
Speaking on the importance of the scheme, Governor Sheriff urges the artisans to make judicious use of the resources provided to grow the state economy through their businesses.
As a show of faith, the More Grant Scheme will continue to provide you with the financial assistance necessary to improve your businesses, as we remain committed to turning small ventures
into flourishing enterprises, thereby improving the quality of life of our people and contributing to the economic growth of our states.
And then the symbolic presentation of checks to some of the beneficiaries.
The handshake alone is more than the amount.
According to the Delta State government, the presentation is just one step in the journey as it plans to equip them with training sessions and mentorship programs to give them more knowledge and skills needed to succeed in today's competitive market.
In other stories, the Federation of Construction Industry is seeking a cordial working relationship with the Federal Ministry of Works. The president of the association, Mr. Vincent Barra, made the call during a media briefing in Abuja. Mr. Barra calls for mutual understanding and adherence to established agreements and best practices.
The Federation of Construction Industry is a platform for players in the nation's construction industry to liaise with relevant government agencies in matters of common interest. However, members of the executive, led by the president, have some concerns.
The action of any ministry or parastatal changing the standard conditions of contract after receiving the Bureau of Public Procurement Certificate of No Objection with a different standard of conditions of contract is not in accordance with the due process and international best practices. The ministry has unilaterally decided to treat augmentation of contracts for existing projects as new contracts and insists that contractors must sign new agreements containing extremely onerous terms developed by the ministry, failing which the ministry will terminate their contracts.
Also underscores the significance of balancing contractual obligations, making an appeal to government and stakeholders to work together for the growth of the industry.
We are glad that the ministry is awarding new contracts. However, the continuation of existing contracts should be given the desired attention and urgency it deserves to reduce the hardship faced by millions of Nigerians that apply the road and to actualize the infrastructural development as promised by Mr. President. We as an organization are patriotic citizens and we desire the best for the country and the Renew Hope agenda of the present administration. We therefore use this medium to call on all relevant stakeholders to intervene urgently in this dire situation to save the construction industry from total collapse.
The association is confident that mutual collaboration and understanding in the industry will lead to sustainable infrastructure development in the country.
Business News is up next with Will Ibong.
Banking, so easy, so simple. Dial *894# now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
And welcome to Business News. Now, the CEO Confidence Index for manufacturers in the country rose to 53.5 in the first quarter of this year, up from 51.8 in the last quarter of 2023. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, announced this at a meeting in Lagos today. Now, the association attributes the slight increase to the anticipation of clearer government policy directions and the marginal appreciation of the naira in March, which led to lower import costs. According to the president of MAN, the central bank's persistent rate hikes to combat inflation have not produced positive results, prompting him to make several recommendations.
MAN advocates for robust collaboration between monetary and fiscal authorities and suggests considering the following policy measures. Implement targeted interventions aimed at mitigating the underlying cost push factors driving inflation, thereby alleviating the financial burden on manufacturers. Prioritize forex and credit allocation to the manufacturers and fast-track the proposed recapitalization of the banking sector. Emphasize the development of infrastructure within industrial hubs and bolster nationwide investment in renewable energy sources to alleviate logistic expenses and enhance competitiveness by driving down the energy cost.
Now to some company news. EPN Holdings PLC has released its audited financial statements for the year ended December 2023 as it reported a record profit after tax of 310.4 billion naira. This is a significant rise from 136.3 billion naira in 2022. Highlights include a 51% increase in net interest income to 548.9 billion naira, while operating profit grew by 127% to 358 billion naira. Also, earnings per share more than doubled to 8 naira 59 kobo. However, the company declared a dividend of 40 kobo. At the same time, total assets saw a 61% increase, reaching 16.9 trillion naira. From there, we head to the domestic equities markets, where it sustained negative sentiments in today's trading session as investors continue to scamper to the fixed income market. Inijan Mekwa tells us.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Stock Market Reports. I'm afraid it's a red one again today, and unfortunately, the All-Share Index has gone below the 98,000 to close at 97,978.02 after a 0.15% drop on that. And of course, this reflects in the market cap. That's the money of it. So we had 55.5 trillion yesterday, but it's gone down to 55.424 trillion naira, and it's all because of the figures. Profit taking is going on so much around them. Figures were down, except FBN Holding. It was unchanged, so it doesn't really make any difference to the market. UBA dropped GT Co, Transco, and Zenith Co. So these pull down the market and put it in the red. And we're seeing the sectors also not looking any different. Consumer goods, we see dropped. And that's because of Honeywell Flour, that was down. Also Guinness, strong stocks we see there. They drew this down. Of course, we've seen figures doing that to banking. And oil and gas decided to have a bit of a move today. It was up 0.72, but that's because of Seplat. Seplat gained 1.29%. Also O&O was also up 0.48%. So even though oil and gas decided to move positively today, it's still the bear at the close of Thursday's trade.
Thank you, Ini. Let's see if other global equity.
Banking so easy, so simple. Dial *894# now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
Thank you, Will. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi has been buried in his home city of Mashhad 4 days after he was killed in a helicopter crash. Here's Simon Puser with other international news in Around the World in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. China has started 2 days of military exercises around Taiwan, with its military calling them strong punishment for the self-ruled island's separatist acts. The drills come 3 days after the inauguration of President William Lai, who called on China to stop threatening the island and accept the existence of its democracy. China sees Taiwan as a breakaway province that will eventually be under Beijing's control, but the island sees itself as distinct. Taiwan's defense ministry condemned the Chinese drills as irrational provocation. At least 9 people have been killed, including a child, and about 50 have been injured after part of a stage collapsed at an election rally in Mexico's northern Nuevo León state. The incident occurred as centre-left presidential candidate Jorge Alvarez Maynez was delivering a speech in the city of San Pedro Garza Garcia Mr. Maynes was uninjured in the collapse and was seen speaking to supporters following the incident. Several members of his team had been hurt. President Emmanuel Macron has described rioting in the French Pacific territory of New Caledonia as an unprecedented insurrection movement that no one saw coming. During a tour of police headquarters in the capital Nouméa on Thursday, he said the coming days and weeks would be difficult, but Paris would go until the end to restore calm. 6 people, including 2 police officers, have been killed and hundreds more wounded in the riots, looting and arson triggered by a controversial electoral reform. Rishi Sunak and Sir Keir Starmer are touring the UK on the first day of their campaign ahead of the general election that was called yesterday for the 4th of July. The Prime Minister says he decided to call an election because economic stability is returning. Labour leader Keir Starmer has been in Kent, where he says nothing will change if the Tories get another 5 years in charge.
Thank you for your questions. Thank you for what you're doing. And hopefully I can get your support in a few weeks' time. All right? Bye, 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 bye.
This election is for you, because you now have the power, the chance to end the chaos, to turn the page, and to rebuild Britain.
Rishi Sunak in the pouring rain yesterday make his announcement, but being a July election is very different, because I think it's the first time it's happened since the war, when my mum would have voted. So yeah, it's exciting times and it's going to be different.
It's quite surprising, I think. But actually, at the same time, with everything that's going on, Rishi's priorities, so like small boats, stopping illegal migration, I think before the summer he probably wants to make sure that there's not a huge wave of people over the summer, so to do it before August and the end of July is probably quite a good thing.
Hospital authorities say a 2-year-old child is among those receiving treatment in Bangkok after a Singapore Airlines flight from London hit severe turbulence. Giving an update on the conditions of the injured, the director of the hospital said 40 people remain in hospital, with half in intensive care, with the majority suffering spinal injuries. Singapore Airlines flight SQ321 from London to Singapore encountered severe turbulence on Tuesday, leading to the death of the 73-year-old British man Jeff Kitchen and injuring dozens of others. And the mother of a Ghanaian toddler, officially recognised as the world's youngest male painter, says she hopes he can take the art world by storm. Ace Liam Nanasam Ankara achieved the incredible feat aged just 1 year and 152 days old. Miss Egan said she first realised his talent when he was only 6 months old. Ace Liam was officially honoured with the title after 5 months of waiting for the Guinness World Records to ratify their record attempt.
My advice to people, most especially, is parents. Please encourage your kids. It doesn't necessarily have to be arts, but I realize that when your kid is artistic, it's like there's this fear in you where there's this stereotype that art, you cannot make a living out of art. There's a bit of truth in every statement, but at the same time, you can cultivate that habit. You know, art is very therapeutic. Yeah. If your child is interested in science and art, let them explore both. Let them grow. Give them all the opportunities in the world. Help them to choose. Guide them. At the same time, those waiting for their results, the Guinness World Record, have patience.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel's studios in Lagos.
Thank you, Simon. On sports news, Super Eagles head coach Finidi George has confirmed that the squad list for next month's 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against South Africa and Benin Republic will be out this weekend. At a media parley in Lagos, the former Enyimba coach said the list will consist of players who played at the last Nations Cup. The 3-time African champions will take on South Africa on June 7th in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, and Benin Republic on June 10th in Abidjan, the Ivorian capital. West Ham United midfielder Lucas Paqueta has been charged with alleged breaches of Football Association betting rules after a probe into claims the Brazilian deliberately earned yellow cards. Paqueta has been charged with 4 breaches of FA rules in relation to his conduct in West Ham's Premier League matches against Leicester in November 2022, Aston Villa in March 2023, Leeds United in May 2023, and Bournemouth in August 2023. Paqueta has until June 3rd to respond to the charges, subject to any request for an extension to the deadline. West Ham United's new manager, Julen Lopetegui, has vowed to make an impact at London Stadium after he was hired by the Premier League club. Lopetegui has agreed a 2-year contract with the option of a 3rd season. The 57-year-old Spaniard had been out of work since leaving Wolverhampton Wanderers on the eve of the just concluded Premier League season. Lopetegui will officially begin work with West Ham United on July 1st, replacing David Moyes after the Scots' exit at the end of this season. Serbian coach Dragan Stojkovic has extended his contract until June 2026. The 59-year-old Serbian to 2 major tournaments in a row, the 2022 World Cup in Qatar and the forthcoming European champions for the first time. As a result, he will continue his work beyond Euro 2024, where Serbia's first match will be against England and Germany on June 16th. Serbia Group C's rival also includes Slovenia and Denmark. All right, that's back to you, AY. Thank you.
Many thanks, Dominic. And the main news again. The table turned today with the historic return of Muhammadu Sanusi II as Emir of Kano, about 4 years after his dethronement and banishment to Nasarawa State by the administration of former governor of the state, Abdullahi Ganduje. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Ayo Tunde. Welcome to have a good night and stay safe.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of Entertainment News on Channels Television, your one-stop shop for all things fashion, music and lifestyle. When it comes to showbiz, you know we got you covered. I am Ewalua Ogunbodede. Thank you so much for joining us today. On the program today, Executive Director of the National Film and Video Censors Board, Shuaibu Hosseini, clarifies policy on